All right. Hello world. It's 4th of March and 8th day of, I can't call it war. It's Russian terror in Ukraine that fascistic Russians started, and the whole world knew because even Americans announced the day. Putin started later. I was sure he will begin after Olympic Games are over, which he did. And basically anything I'm saying, like my predictions or my worries, or just like I sort of, yeah, just predict events, they literally happen 2 days later. So from the third day, once Russians started not only bombing the different military objects and points in Ukraine, but started not only shooting but bombing the civil houses in Ukraine, I started calling them terrorists because this is pure terrorism. This is not war. War is like army against army. There are rules if you are worshipping, and what they are doing is terrorism. So as I was telling you, I called it that from the third day, and now people are calling it that too. I called them fascists later. They started to make parallels with Hitler. So my next prediction is actually that Putin will be killed. We'll see. It's interesting that today, actually, on German internet, I read an article that there is a millionaire, I believe he's Russian, and he lives in the United States, who offers $1 million if Putin will be killed by one of his officers, because obviously Russian folk, Russians, I can't even call them nation because they are not, will stop their president. So many countries have been protesting. Actually, yesterday I went to Frankfurt to protest, and talking to Germans, I mean, like, Germany has its own history and they're very, very careful. They are very diplomatic people. I really don't like this about Germans, that they don't talk clearly. They're always trying to be careful in their expressions, but that's understandable due to their history. But anyway, just talking to Germans and how they see it, I feel like they understand that this is dangerous, but they don't understand the level of danger for the whole world, not only Ukraine. And this is the problem with many people around the world. So the thing is, you guys, I know that I'm not a historical channel, I'm not a news channel, I'm a fragrance channel. And not even the most influential, but I have this platform. I have followers all around the world, and recently I posted a video that silence is a choice. If someone is silent, if someone is not speaking up, then it's your choice. And so this is also a choice of Russians. People say, but there are good Russians, not everyone supports the war, but they have like very strict punishments, they can't speak up, the government doesn't allow them to do so, they cannot protest and something. You should see the absolute like madness they started in IKEA, because it's closing there, like everything is leaving that shitty country. The women there were like literally breaking the windows and almost hitting people who work there, and they were like not even animals. I can't call animals Russians. This is too bad for animals. Animals are better. And then you see their protest, and they're like, no war, no war. No war where? Who started this war? So you can't say they are not allowed, there are punishments. Um, think about other countries. Think about Ukraine. Do you think it's fun to lose everything you have, your entire life, just like that, overnight, just because um, your neighbor country is absolute stupid that they chose a president who is out of his mind and completely lost the rest of it because his people, his country, his residents gave him an absolute permission to fuck them in any position he wants. And because of this, another country, and actually now the whole Europe and maybe soon the whole world, needs to suffer. I really want you to understand what I'm saying. Listen twice, because if you're not aware, it doesn't mean that you're not responsible. We all are responsible for what's happening, and very soon Russia will turn into North Korea. They will be absolutely isolated from this civilization, and that's good because those zombies, you know what happens with zombies? You know how to fight zombies, right? There is only one way. You don't talk to zombies. You don't try to convince them. You just do one thing with zombies, and those are Russians. I also want to talk about history a little bit in this video, in this live stream. I decided to do it in the live format just because I'm emotional and I'm very yeah, just spontaneous. But there are a few things I want to respond to, especially one comment that I was ready, you know, for the controversy in the comments on my videos regarding the latest events in Ukraine and the Russian terror and everything. But one comment really triggered me, and I want to respond to it. But first, I wanted just to hit on the history a little bit, and I need to make a disclaimer. I didn't study history. I studied social work, so I am not like, you know, an educated historical person. And in Germany, I went to school two classes in Germany, and history here is very poorly educated. I can say that in Ukraine it was better. So I'm watching a lot of documentaries because I'm really interested in history, and I love to read about history. I should do more, and so everyone, because actually if we know the history and we are normal people, and we can actually prevent certain things happening. So the thing is, you guys, Russian history is based on the um, absolute force strength of their government, dictators, basically. There has never been freedom in Russia. Human rights were nothing for them, and what can you expect from people who live in the country for centuries and centuries and have never experienced freedom? These are zombies and slaves together, and this is the combination, the result of which we can actually see today. And the thing is, Ukraine is not Russia, and this is very obvious now. It's a pity that earlier people thought it's the same. It's not. The languages are different, the history is very different, and the people are very different. Ukraine now is not only fighting for the 8th day for its life, but meanwhile it stands for the whole Europe, and is actually trying not to lead to the global catastrophe that will soon happen if the West won't awake and the world won't start to act, because very soon it's going to be too late. So yesterday I was in Frankfurt, and for the whole week I've been at home. I've been working from home. I've been following the news. I sleep very little. I can't complain because what people in Ukraine are going through is not even like it's not what I'm dealing with. But I am constantly watching the news. It's a great live channel. And not only they are updating you literally on the latest things that are happening in Ukraine, but they are inviting a lot of guests from all different possible like military, psychologists, historians, and everyone. So I'm also following the live ticker. I'm in the constant contact with my family. My entire family is in Ukraine except for my mom, my grandmom, my grandparents, uncles, friends, cousins. They are there. And if you watch the news, if you follow the internet, because when I'm listening to the news on German radio, and they sum the events in Ukraine just in one sentence, it's not enough, because it seems like there is just war somewhere, and there is like a fight there, fight here, and that's all. And this is a very, very wrong picture that they are drawing us, because in fact the entire country is under Russian terror, and Ukrainians are so brave. Ukrainians are unbelievable. Right now, this is the strongest nation in the world, and I'm very bravely saying that. But I'm very much disappointed by the West, by how the West is handling it. So yesterday in Frankfurt, once again, the life went on, and it's normal, because once again, people don't feel how close all these tragic terroristic events are happening to them. And of course, I can't expect that Americans or people who are even further away are so sensitive and talk about it all the time. I can't expect that, but I want to tell you something. My message is that the situation is really serious, and since Americans knew that this invasion will happen, but they just probably didn't really realize the level of terrorism that Russia will actually make. The fact that for the first 3 days, Ukraine didn't get any help, no weapon, speaks for itself. Of course, they needed to act once they saw that Ukraine, from its own strength, is standing and is fighting against this terroristic country. They started to act, but everything is too slow, because everything that's happening in Ukraine is happening really fast. So today I experienced absolutely unacceptable reaction from my colleagues. I was shocked when my colleague said that they experienced something worse, because I don't know, maybe you can educate me, but I'm sure there was no firing nuclear power station in world's history, which happened in Ukraine today. Russian terrorists, Russian fascists, Russian soldiers, Russian army forces started firing nuclear power station. Not Chernobyl, in Zaporozhye. There is another one. There are a few in Ukraine. Chernobyl is already occupied. And Europe should be really concerned for real. The whole world should be, because if they won't shelter Ukrainian sky, and there are going to be no flight zone over Ukraine because a lot of bombing is happening, and they can bomb a nuclear power station. Then the nuclear access, these poisonous radiation clouds will spread all over Europe and will affect not only this continent but others too. And then it's going to be too late to handle, to create no flight zone for the radiation. So everything is happening too late, and I wish the world could awake sooner. The thing is, you guys, there is a comment. Okay, so now I will also respond to this comment and to another one I got. It said it's not the really the job of the USA to fight for Ukraine and trigger a world war. So listen to this. I don't expect from you to understand, because for these 8 days I realized that the world is stupid, very, very stupid, and very, very afraid and coward. This is and that Ukrainians are brave and will never ever let to take their freedom away from them. So if this is not really the job of the USA to fight for Ukraine and trigger another world war, I understand that NATO, that many Western countries, including USA, trying to find an excuse because otherwise they will start a third world war. In fact, Putin has already started the third world war. And now the West is really, really afraid of him, because this is a very sick and crazy person who has the support of his crazy, sick country. So the West is really, really afraid. But you need to realize one thing. The West thought that Ukraine will fall. Putin thought the entire invasion of Ukraine will take 2 days. It's the 8th day and he's failing hard. He's panicking and he is sick. He has a nuclear weapon that he is threatening the world with. I don't know if you watch Russian television, and if you are Russian speaking, I doubt it. But I'm a Russian speaking person, and on their official news, and there is propaganda on every channel, because there is no such thing as the right to speak up. They say that they have so much of nuclear weapon that it's going to be enough to explode, like to erase the whole America, including all NATO states altogether, because who needs the world if there is no Russia in there? And this is what they are translating into the world. This is their message. Who needs the world if there is no Russia in it? Better we will erase the whole world, or will just set our regime in the entire Europe, because it's the 8th day, as I was telling you, and the thing is, Ukraine will fight till the end. People there are deeply, deeply how should I say? There is someone who is taking their right to live, and they will stand till the end. So if Ukraine falls, which is not gonna happen, but if that happens, and Lion, I will respond to you too, because I got a comment very similar to yours, and I want to talk about this. I won't talk about this. I'm not talking about the world. The world is really stupid, but I'm talking about myself. And I have this platform here that is absolutely not political or news or history related, but I'm Ukrainian. This is my responsibility to address the situation, to talk about it, to bring awareness. And I won't change the opinion of those who are writing these comments that America is not responsible, that where have we been regarding, Afghanistan, Syria, blah, blah, blah. I won't change your opinion, your mind, better fuck off. I just want to talk to people who are not informed or who might have a similar opinion like mine but is not speaking out yet. Because the thing is, you guys, Putin won't stop. Putin is a maniac, basically. And if he takes Ukraine, he will go further and he will occupy the entire Europe. And this is not a joke. The sad truth is that Western states are so used to their comfort, to their freedom, and they actually say never again, meaning World War. And Russians, and this is for real, guys, say we can repeat the World War. So you really need to understand the mindset, the difference between the West and Russia. So if Ukraine falls, then Putin will go further and occupy the entire Europe. And then it's going to be Europe in face of Russia and Putin against USA. And that's all. So the Third World War has already begun, and soon you'll hear about it on your radio, in your news, you will read about it, because it is going maybe not on the physical level that NATO troops are fighting in Ukraine, but it's a cyber war and just war on many different levels. So you might want to sleep but better awake a bit faster than your government that is scared to the shaking knees because they've all been feeding Putin from their hand. And this will lead me to these comments regarding Syria and everything. The politicals have been doing business with Putin, with Russia. And you need to understand that Russia understands only a strong hand, as Russians say. They want a strong hand. They want. People want. That's why they are not against Putin, who has been a president for 20 years. Dictator, basically. So they want a strong hand. And this strong hand understands only strength. There can be no diplomacy, nothing diplomatical, no negotiations with terrorists. You need to understand this. And the Western politic is wrong in this aspect. You can't do business with Putin not expecting that you'll be fucked by him. You just can't. And this is what the West has been doing. I wasn't aware of this as much as I am now. I need to be honest with you. I've never been really into politics. All I knew is that Russia is a bad thing, and I was looking towards the West. What I can tell you now is that I received a comment, maybe I will even find it, that was a little bit, I first didn't even want to respond to it, because once again, I don't want to respond to stupid comments. I don't want to talk to people who are poorly informed, who don't care, who are here to provoke, who are trolls. This is not really, my intention. My intention is to speak up because it's my responsibility. Like all of your responsibility, of every one of you, is to do the same about your countries and about the injustice that is going in the world. Okay? So this is what I'm doing here on my platform. And here is the comment. So it was actually a response to someone else's comment. And listen, Junaira says, I agree with you. She's corrupt, meaning me. She is a hypocrite. Hypocrite? Not once has she ever mentioned Syria. Yet she is dying because she thinks the world isn't recognizing the Ukraine issue. And she talks low about other countries at third works. I can't stand her anymore. Oh, this is actually not the... oh my gosh, where is this comment? I lost it. Anyway, regarding Syria. So when IS, this terroristic organization, started their terrorism in Syria, we started to learn it in at school, because I was at school back then. And soon after that, I went to work. And do you know where I worked? The language school. And you know who were our clients? 80% of them were refugees from Syria, and I worked with them. I helped those people. You know where else I worked? In the refugees camps. I helped refugees from different countries, not only Syria, but Afghanistan, different African countries, Eritrea, other Middle Eastern countries. I worked with them. I helped them because I'm a social worker. Back then, I didn't have my YouTube channel. And if I did, I had no idea I can speak up, because honestly, I had no real clue. And yes, those are not my home countries. I can't expect that you will start a YouTube channel and will talk about Ukraine, especially as emotional as I am, because I'm Ukrainian. This is my home country, and those are my people who are dying there. But I expect you to start a YouTube channel, talk about issues in your countries. If you have family there, as you are writing to me, if you have friends there, if you think that there are problems that you want to address, then please do so. Do so. I'm not attacking people from Syria for not talking about Ukraine. I'm attacking the West. And also, do you remember who helped Assad, Syrian dictator, or whoever he is, to actually remain the president? That was Putin, who was bombing your cities, your civil people, your hospitals. And now he's bombing ours, all around the country, the neighbor country, in the country that many people thought is their brother country. Many people. No, they are not. I'm hoping they're not. So yes, Russia has done a lot of crime over its history. Actually, why are we only talking about Ukraine? Really? There is Afghanistan. All remember that war, right? And they did not succeed that. All remember Syria. But there are more. Actually, there is a whole list. Let's have a look. Maybe I can actually share the screen with you. So this is the list of wars involving Russia. Okay, not necessarily from this period of time, but let's look at this. Russian Empire. There was war in Persia, Austro-Turkish War, Bashkir Rebellion, war in Austria. Look at this. Google. It's your best friend. Learn history before attacking others. Finnish War, French, right? You see, there have been many wars in Georgia. Yeah, who remembers Georgia in where is it? Not too long ago. 2008, Georgia, right? Chechen War, there are two. In the first, they lost, yeah, in Abkhazia, another Georgian civil war, and now it's Ukraine. And I think if you Google everything, if you make your research, then you'll probably understand that Russia is not only like the biggest piece of shit on our planet, but is like a big evil country. And it is because, and it has always been, because people there have always lived in this slavery. And apparently they like this slavery. I'm not here to have, a discussion with you that there are good Russians and bad Russians. There is no such thing as good Russians. You need to understand that. If you don't, then it's fine. And those wars, all of them that you can read about on the internet, because I'm not a historical channel here to inform you. I'm not your teacher at school, okay? I'm here to talk about real danger for the whole world because it's happening in my country and this is my responsibility. And I hope it goes in your head. And if not, then please leave my channel because after this stream, after it, I will block everyone. Because honestly, fuck off if you're stupid. Because of the stupidity, all the crime is happening. And as I was telling you in the beginning, during the war, there are certain rules. It's army against army. You can't shoot at the civil people. You can't destroy their homes. You can't bomb the hospitals. You can't block the humanitarian corridors. And this is what Russia is doing for the 8th day in Ukraine in front of the whole world, showing it a big fuck very openly. So instead of attacking me for speaking up, especially if you have some issues with Russia as well, you should actually talk about it, because if Putin fails, then Russia will fail, and this is a good thing for the whole world. Then Assad will fail because Putin is the force that supports him, the Eritrean dictator, the one from the Belarus, from North Korea, the Trump. It's very easy and very clear. And I don't know why I understand this, but a lot of apparently educated people from the West don't. Okay, Rockdown Plus. I feel your frustration, however, the West won't make a move until Putin attacks a NATO country. This is the question of time. You need to understand this, because Putin is fucking everyone, putting it in the comfortable position for itself. I hope you understand my metaphor. Putin is fucking everyone, putting it in the comfortable position for itself. And if something will happen in Ukraine that won't lead to its victory, then the whole Europe is fucked, and it's going to be a third world war. Don't understand why I'm getting calls from Spain. This is strange, but anyway. So I don't. Okay, hopefully there are more clever people out there. So rescue, I hope they will push their border back to Ural, because now they are getting isolated from the entire world. However, because those are some bit slaves, they don't care. So right now, Putin doesn't care. I will also, you don't know anything about Russia and Ukraine apparently, maybe except for their geographic position. So I will tell you what's going on. Ukraine has its own history, very different from Russia. We've been always fighting for freedom. Think about Cossacks. And Russia has always tried to destroy us. There is Holodomor, which is actually, I believe, the first genocide they committed on Ukrainian territory, and now they're doing the second. With that being said, Putin, because he's so crazy and maniac and whatever, he can't stand that Ukrainians have the president who is looking towards the West and not the East, who is not corrupt as all the previous presidents were, because they were Putin's and Russians' marionettes. He can't stand that we have our show business that is very successful. He can't stand that we have our own language and not Russian is our, official language. He can't basically understand that we have our cultural and national identity. And the whole world needs to realize that Ukraine is not a province. We are not a third world country. This is such a horrible way to describe any country. Because what does it mean? The first world country, the second, the third? What is this categorization of people is all about? There are some people who are clever because of others, maybe. But I think it's clear for everyone now that Ukraine is demonstrating the incredible courage, the bravery, and just such strength of their spirit that is unbreakable, because they will fight till the end. And I'm not talking about civil people that are dying, that live underground, that lose everything they had, and the country is getting destroyed to the core. I'm not even talking about this. I'm talking about the principle why Ukrainians are not giving up and won't give up anymore. And I don't know what was in Vietnam, what was in Afghanistan, what was in Syria, because honestly, I'm not from that part of the world. Honestly, I wasn't taught that at school. Honestly, I don't have any relatives from that place. And honestly, those events happened before I lived. Maybe that's not an excuse, but I know what's happening in Ukraine now. And I see there are a lot of people who are against me. This is really, really sad that my followers, I don't know, my viewers are really, really against me. It's interesting. But I'm not even talking to you, honestly. I'm speaking out because it's my responsibility. I have to. This is who I am. And this is why Ukrainians are still fighting. Despite the West didn't want to help and still is not ready to help, to fight the evil who is literally creating a lot of harm and a lot of danger all around the world. Basically, Putin can't stand that Ukrainians have their own identity. So he thought that he will just erase them all. The West won't say anything because he has his ultimate threat, the nuclear weapon. But he didn't expect that strength of the spirit from Ukrainians, because this is now a national war. Everyone in Ukraine is fighting. I don't know what was in Afghanistan, guys. I don't know what was in Syria. I don't know how it was in your countries. Please tell me if you're watching from other places where something similar happened. But I can tell you what's happening in Ukraine. Everyone is going to the army, or just like their territory protection. They are not okay that their freedom is taken by some maniac. And this is what they are showing the entire world. Ukrainians are not against each other. There are not different parties in Ukraine. Ukrainians are Ukrainians. This is one nation that is strong, that is clever, and that wants to be united. And that Putin has a dream, a goal, a mission, a mania, that Ukraine doesn't deserve to live, that Ukrainians are not human beings, then this is very, very wrong. I need to answer. Да, бабушка. Привет, Баш, что такое? Все хорошо? Хорошо? Угу. Хорошо, я тут делаю лайвстрим в интернете. Я перезвоню тебе. Если все нормально, потом поговорим, хорошо? Да, позвоню лучше маме. Ну все, пока-пока. So that was my grandma. Мама, у меня лайвстрим.
Хорошо, а есть вечер, Бенни? Ну, тут как, я тебе не мешаю.
Anyway, maybe this is the right time to leave. This is so interesting that there are people who are still attacking me that I didn't talk about Afghanistan or something else. I'm more polite to my subscribers. You know what? I'm not only disappointed in the West. I'm not disappointed in humanity, actually. I know that there are a lot of freaks out there, and honestly, your comment, you can just fuck off. But I'm really surprised. At first, I was shocked. I was angry at the West that they're not helping. But apparently, yes, it's not their responsibility to help. We need to help ourselves. But okay. Why didn't I talk about Afghanistan on my channel? I'll tell you, because I work with Afghan people every day, because I help them with my work. I'm a social worker. I work with Afghan refugees. And I'm not fully aware of the situation there. I'm not from Afghanistan. And my channel is not dedicated to, how should I say, I'm not a journalist. Yeah. But this is happening in Ukraine. This is my country. Start your own channel and bring awareness to the issues in your country. If you don't understand this, I can't help you. I can only talk about me, because this is my responsibility. If I sit here quietly, like probably you've been doing when things in Afghanistan happened, then I couldn't have a clear consciousness. This is just that easy. I think this is clear now. So it's not like I'm sitting here uh, supporting the forces that led to events in Afghanistan or Syria and other countries. I'm actually criticizing that. You don't understand because you're affected, because you feel lost and left in your tragedy. Like I feel now with things happening in Ukraine. That's normal. Why? Okay, guys, I need to answer.
Привет. Я дома, да. Дайте мой телефон. Она с кем-то говорит. Сейчас, секундочку, я спрошу. Я тут снимала лайв-видео. Пыталась людям рассказать, почему я раньше говорила про проблемы в Афганистане.
You know, in the last couple of days with all this terror, war, I understood a lot of things. I was confronted with the indifference, with rudeness, and with the rejection of help in the critical situation. And according to your logic, to you, Umida, or I don't know all your names, I can't follow your attacking responses. According to your logic, I should sit quietly, and everyone should, letting crime happen. You know, this war is an informational war. The propaganda in Russia is, I don't know if there is a level of propaganda like it is in Russia. So according to your logic, we should sit here quietly. Umida, I'm blocking you because you're a very, very lost person. That's it. I'm not here to talk about, I don't know, very people talking that I'm ignorant or whatever. Now I understand why actually Ukraine doesn't get like a proper help like I would expect in the 2022 after world wars, after clearly confronting with an absolute evil dictator that is putting the question of the entire world, you know, I know that there are a lot of people who help, who have the understanding, who actually help. Those soldiers from all over the world that are ready to go to Ukraine and fight for it. It's unbelievable. The amount of help that Ukraine received in the last 8 days, it has never ever received. And Ukraine is proving with its own life, life of its people, that we are at least as good as you are, the West. And this is a very important moment for the world's history, because the question is if the nuclear catastrophe will happen, if Europe will be taken by maniac dictator Putin or not, probably he won't succeed, but I understand that there is a big problem in people's heads around the world. Very big problem. And me reading the news, following everything from there, and the crime, the level of this crime that is happening in Ukraine, it leaves me not only speechless. I am still not speechless. I'm still speaking out and posting on my Instagram. And you just need to watch the videos. You need to listen to what's happening, because it's not like for me, you know, the situation of Ukraine summed in one sentence. I follow every little town that's there, all the fights, all the tanks, how much was destroyed, or where are people suffering and stuff like that. I'm following all of this, every detail. I'm fully in that topic. So yeah, I just wanted to say that regarding the history, regarding other crimes that happen around the world, it's not okay. And at the same time, I deeply believe that people are responsible for what's happening in their country. And of course, some are luckier than the others to be born, you know, in a great country where everything is awesome, and others need to fight with the circumstances that they were born in. And yet I feel like we can all make a change, and even if you don't like your country, you can just leave it and find a better place. So I guess I said everything I wanted. Regarding perfumes, I would like to be back with some perfume content soon. I don't really know which topics should I discuss, because everything seems to me very uninspiring these days, and I'm focused on a different kind of topic. That's why I'm talking about it here, and I'm very glad that I can speak up, because it relieves me. I know that I won't change your perspective, your opinion. I'm not here to change it. At first, for a few days, for the first few days, I thought that I can actually do that I have the ability. But in fact, I can't, me personally. Maybe other people can, but I can't do that. Also today I was thinking that since I am absolutely not okay with what's happening in Ukraine and how the West is reacting, I don't know where I want to live, which country, because I won't forget that the West didn't handle on time in this Ukrainian terrorism. And at the same time, I just don't know how I can live with this feeling. So, deeply disappointed in the entire world. And I would like to isolate myself from people, because I have a very different opinion than they do. Maybe it would be cool if I surrounded myself with similar thinking people, but I just don't know where to find them. And hopefully once the war is soon over and Ukraine will be rebuilt and it's going to be a great new country, I'm even thinking about returning there. Because for these 11th years living in Germany, I've never been the fan of it. There have been times when I started to appreciate it and started to even like it, but it has never been love like it was in Ukraine, because anytime I went there, I first was shocked because, you know, just the visual part is not the greatest, but I felt right there, you know. Ukrainian perfumes. I have one video. It's actually on my second channel, but now is in Ukrainian. By the way, you don't see the color of my top, but it's black, white, yellow, and blue, and so are my nails. So I have already reviewed Charzilla perfumes, very interesting indie brand from Ukraine, and I haven't experienced many more, so maybe I should try them out and talk about them. The question which perfume to wear to the revolution is, I can't answer that because since the war I stopped wearing perfumes I personally have, because I don't want to associate them with panic attacks and the war. But I've tried 2 new perfumes from Armani in the shop, and I sprayed myself with it twice, and maybe I will associate their fragrance with this time, and once Ukraine wins, maybe I'll even buy them. They're very expensive, I can't afford them, but it would be much better to spend the money on the charity. But this is what I'm wearing now, and they smell great. So which perfume to wear to the revolution? I don't know. I wouldn't wear any perfume, honestly. Vanilla scents for the victory. Yeah, vanilla smells very peaceful, and very pleasant. So, yeah. I think I need to stop because there are people walking here, and yeah, I'm just like rethinking, my life, honestly, where I live, where I work, who I live with, what do I want to do in life. Of course, I want to make perfumes, but yeah, thinking about all of this. Thinking and thinking and thinking. So, yeah, that's all, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your comments, for the discussion, and yeah, I will try to mix the content because probably there are going to be times when I'll be very emotional and I'll just need to speak out, and just I can't keep it all in myself. And it's also nice from time to time to hear that there are actually people who are not absolutely crazy and realize the danger of the situation. I just wish all of us, because it's not about Ukraine anymore, that will stand, that the good will win, that Russia will fail, that there is going to be brighter, happier future that awaits all of us, normal people, and it will come soon. I hope that politics will do something great and finally the world will awake before it's too late. You can bring awareness to this topic even in the discussions with your people, with your family, colleagues, and something like that. But I realized that politics is a very, very dangerous topic. So maybe I can, just find a balance talking about perfumes and from time to time to, just update on the situation in Ukraine, because I feel like it's very important to talk about it because you are not getting much information, and it's partly one of the reasons why the situation is not changing for the best, because many don't realize the scale of terror and danger, and genocide, basically, because the bombed country and everything there, and not even letting to create corridors, humanitarian corridors. This is the crime of the highest level, and there hasn't been done such thing in Syria, if I'm not wrong. So this deserves a tribunal. And I wish you all a great day. Have a nice, lovely weekend. We'll see what I can talk about. I bought some new makeup, actually. Maybe I can talk about that, just, you know, to distract myself a little bit, because Ukraine and terror there, and people there, my heart is fully with them. But anyway, talk about what I've said. You got some food to process, and that was all from me for today. You might want to rewatch the stream, because I said a couple of things that you might not realize at first. And I don't know when I'm streaming again, because I didn't plan to stream, but I was so emotional and I wanted to just respond, you know, to comments, to the misunderstanding that's out there. So I thought I will do it in the live chat, so we can have a little bit of the live feedback, and I can get your comments. So I don't know if the next update is going to be live or a video that I will pre-record. So maybe I can, it can be more, how should I say, less emotional and more thought through. But just stay tuned. And if not, you can just rewatch. And I'm sending a lot of love to Poland, that is helping Ukraine a lot, that is really proving who are brothers and who care. So thank you so much to all the countries that are helping Ukraine. I feel if they are responsible for what happened with the politics that they provided in the past, and it's very human-like behavior to act helpful in the today's realities, when Russia started terror in the middle of Europe. 80 years after the Second World War, they are about to begin the third. And although a lot of people don't believe it, slowly their eyes are opening. And I wish it happened faster. That's why I'm trying, you know, to just talk to you guys. And although I'm not historical political news channel, I feel like I'm responsible for this, because it's happening in my country. It's not okay, because crime should be punished, and I hope it will be soon. Anyway, you guys, I'm going. Stay tuned for future videos. If there is anything you want to know regarding Ukraine, the situation there, I would really recommend you to watch this press conference. It's amazing. It's really, really cool. Their journalists asked the right hand of President Vladimir Zelensky different questions regarding the current situation in Ukraine, and the translator is awesome. Like, she speaks English way better than I do, and she explains everything correctly. Everything that they are answering, she translates perfectly. So you need to, you know, find the right time when she's talking, when she's translating everything into in English. But I highly recommend you to watch it, because it's very interesting and will just give you more information. But I'm also open to your questions, and also if you want to support Ukraine, sorry, you can donate. I will leave a few helpful links down below. And thank you so much to everyone who has already donated so far. Finally, I have some great news. I received the forms from my bank, and now I can make a bank transfer to help Ukraine. I've already bought a lot of humanitarian help, like hygienic items, food, also baby food, and other things that refugees could have a use of on the borders, that yeah, were forced to leave their home because of the terror that was started by Putin and fascistic Russia. So anyway, here's the link. Check it out. I really enjoyed it today to listen to them. The education. The best place to donate would be to the army forces of Ukraine or the volunteers in Ukraine directly, because this is the soonest they, like, this is the direct way for them to receive money and actually use it, because in Ukraine they are one step from, no, they already have humanitarian catastrophe there, and the whole Europe is one step away from the ecological catastrophe, because Russians have already set on fire the oil stations, the oil factories, or something like that. So there have already been explosions into the atmosphere, but they are continuing with the nuclear power stations. So this will affect the whole world and our climate. So in case you are not indifferent, in case you want to help them to solve the problems, right there you can directly donate to them. I will leave everything down below in the description box. You can send money to me. I haven't sent it to Ukraine yet, but tomorrow I will. So just check out the description box below, and yeah, thank you. I hope that this will be stopped soon, and the world will live in the absolutely new time, in a different time. You can't even imagine how different it's going to be. And I truly believe that Ukraine will stand, will win, because Ukraine now is the country of absolute heroes, because not only the army forces is protecting the country, but just normal people. They are going out sometimes with bare hands and stopping tanks, Russian tanks. And this is unbelievable. I don't know any example in the world's history, and if you do, please inform me when something like this happened. And I'm very brave to be Ukrainian. I've always loved my country, but I'm very glad that the whole world sees what Ukrainians can do and what can't be done with them. So that was all. Take care, you guys. Slava Україні! Героям слава!